All right, here we are. Good old Evergreen Cemetery, Colorado Springs, Colorado. It is October 5th, 2018. It's about 2 o'clock, I believe. I was wrong, about 2:30, 2:35. I come here on Fridays a lot to kind of free my mind a little bit. It's a beautiful, beautiful cemetery. There's almost 80,000 people buried here. You're talking hundreds of plots. And one of the really cool things about Evergreen Cemetery is they were actually using it as a cemetery. Bodies were buried here back before Colorado Springs was actually a city. So back in the 1850s and 1860s, there were people being buried and their bodies weren't actually being marked. So there is still, they know the area where they should be. I'm not sure if they've ever surveyed the land and figured it out, but there's a whole area that would be, I believe, the northeast side of the cemetery itself that is dedicated to the pioneers of Colorado Springs, the people who kind of discovered Colorado Springs and helped it become the thriving economy and city that it is today. When you look at some of these last names, you'll notice the bigger tombs. You've got the crypts over there you might not be able to see because of the sun, or you see Kennedy right there. You've got Hemingway. If you Google some of these, you can get some really cool history on people here. Being in Colorado Springs, El Paso County, one of the notoriously conservative counties in the country, ton of military here. You've got tons and tons of memorials here for people in the military. If you come up here, here's one right here. Here's Barbara Ann Cartier. Looks like she was someone who may have served. And Kingsley Ayling, U.S. Navy. She's in World War II. World War II here. It's pretty incredible, the things that are here, and just just how mass it is. It is the largest cemetery, and I go to a lot of cemeteries. I have found it to be a cool hobby of mine. Good old Buttermore. Another veteran. Trying to figure out how that works. So you got Buttermore, Charles and Jackie. I'm not sure what these are. But something that happened earlier that was it shocked me. I don't know. Here's the McClungs. It shocked me. I was sitting in my car, kind of do some research on, the Evergreen Cemetery. I like looking at the history. I do this because I'm into the history, but I also do it because I love the paranormal aspect of it. This is inside a crypt. Right here, you're not going to be able... The windows are so dirty, you're not going to be able to get a very good view on there, but it's kind of a cool view, I guess. I don't think I'll be able to do much editing on that. But I love the paranormal aspect of it. I love I love learning about it. And there's some crazy things that have happened here. The fuck was that? I think I just got that on my microphone as well. Someone there. I love the paranormal aspect on it. And when you're going back, about 160 years or so, there's some crazy things. There's a lot of people that were obviously murdered here or died under strange circumstances. And this is also the Sons of Israel as the Jewish part of Evergreen Cemetery. But there's some really wild stories about some of the different people that were buried here. And some of it happened after they were buried. So when you look at, there's a lady named Mrs. Bacon. She's buried with her husband, Mr. Bacon. And Mr. Bacon was a former mayor of Colorado Springs. Well, they've got a really nice crypt in the back. It's actually not the back. It'd be more of the center, more or less, of the cemetery. And they were buried there in I believe, the 19-teens of some sort. And in the 1980s, their crypt was broken into. I guess a groundskeeper was kind of walking through, saw that the door had been tampered with, and went inside and noticed that the crypt inside was open where the Mrs. Tomb was, and she was missing her head. Now, nothing else was taken, just her head. So when you look at the strange circumstances on that, why? Why did all they do is take the head? I mean, it's pretty bizarre, but if you go through, I was actually going to walk over to Miss Bacon's, but it's right up here. I'll show you guys. It's a cool little crypt, but there's some really neat architecture. I mean, just the design in some of these. And I think what's really neat, and what I've read and seen, is a lot of people, see, look, someone broke the window here like a jerk off. I'll go in here. So this is Geneva Macklin Sharp, and it looks like Louie. Good old Lou. Big Lou. So it's down, anyone up? So it's just them two, it looks like. Just two people in this crib, but what is that? That's pretty crazy. That's pretty fucking crazy. So, when you look at this, I don't know what that was in the corner. It looks like a bird may have gotten in there. Good old Sharp. They kind of had a say in how they wanted it designed, since it's going to be their eternal resting place. And when you come over to this side, this is one of the really, really neat ones. Obviously, there are people that had a strong standing in the community. Here we go. So this is Burns. What up, Burns? I'd have to figure out what Burns did, but I'm sure, being in The Simpsons, he's gonna get a crypt of his own, But look at that stained glass on the other side. If they had the ability, I mean, these will never be opened again, so that's just what's so wild to me. They're completely shut. But you got the Burns here. And then go around, and they also, I guess, did landscaping around it. So some of these bushes were requested. They're shoop. But if you look, it's really cool stained glass. And I love it. But these were built before they were even dead. And over at Manitou, you've got the Crystal Valley Cemetery. There's a really cool crypt there. There's only a few. I'm thinking, now that I think about it, there might actually only be one. And the lady who built it, she built it herself. And even before she died, she would sit on the, it's kind of like a porch almost. It's not a porch, it's just like a little concrete slab in the front, almost like a little patio to the crypt. And she would enjoy the days. Enjoy the weather, enjoy the, in Colorado you've got the sounds of birds and everything. It's awkward, there's a cemetery, or a funeral over there that I probably shouldn't be bothering. Yeah, that's sad. So here is a really big one. These are the Giddings and the Lennox. This one, if you look at it, is just enormous. This is, I'd say, probably the biggest one here. Obviously, people who are wealthy here. The interior is really cool too. I've actually been up here and something touched my neck. I'm glad that my camera can see in better than my eyes can. Isn't that cool? You wonder how many people are actually in there, But it looks like there's, on each side, give or take, 1, 2, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 times 2. So I guess that's 8 on each side. That's pretty wild. Let's see over here. Who's that? Annabelle, wife of William Lennox, 1909. So think about how long this thing's been around. A long, long time. Here, let's see, where's her husband? I thought maybe he'd be on the other side. Oh, there we go. Bill, good old Bill Lennox. He actually died before she did, or way after she did. Huh. It's pretty cool. But so over here, we get to the bacon. The bacon, man, you're baking me crazy. The bacon crypt. The bacon crypt is the one I was speaking about, the lady whose head was found missing. You see the lock. If you notice, usually there's just a little lock and there's a key, and I'm not sure who has the key. I'm not sure if the family might keep it or maybe the office here does. But if you look, which I've never actually looked inside, these windows, I mean, you're talking windows. Can actually hear me echo. You can hear that reverb. You can't really get a view in here whatsoever. It's just too dirty. Way too dirty. I wonder if I can move the back side. Well, it doesn't even look like there's windows back there. See how it's not even very deep if you look in. But so these crypts, I think, other than like the sheer size of Evergreen Cemetery, I think some of these crypts really set it apart. I, of course, didn't really get into my hobby of cemetery history and paranormal until about a year ago. I dibble-dabble, kind of checked them out, and since we moved here and really learned about them, I've really gotten to it. But I think that the crypts really set this place apart. There's none that are underground, but the chapel that is here it's near the front. Probably can't see it where I am, but it's over that way. And that's actually a crypt you're looking at. That's the one that we went into, or went over to. But it's over that way. And it used to be where they would store the bodies for a little bit, and what would happen in the morning is they would leave the bodies there in the winter, and a lot of them would stack up because the family might not have time or money to get them buried. And so they've got like 6 or 8 rooms downstairs to where they would be able to be held for a while, and where, you know, the mortician was, and where they did embalm and all that stuff. So I've never actually come up to this. It's the Farron. But there's some crazy paranormal stuff that has gone on. So can you see in there? I mean, it is pitch black in there, it looks like. Is it just the door? I don't know. It's pretty cool. Doesn't look like there's any windows. No. Another military. If you go around, there's actually a civil. From the Civil War, you've got the Union soldiers side, and then there's also one that's Confederate soldiers. You've got your World War I and II veterans. You've got Iraq, Afghanistan, and they're all over, and it's incredible. This place, just the beauty of it. And you know, you look, you got the mountains right over there, which is awesome. You've got, all right here, just so pretty. I love that side over there. But basically, I want to go back over here. When I was sitting here earlier in my car, I noticed something super weird, and I did not get a glance of it. But you know when you see something and there's just nothing there, and it was not out of the corner of my eyes. It was in my rearview mirror. And I don't know what it was. I have no idea what I saw. All I know is I did see something. It was almost like a car or a big wagon of some sort, and it just rolled behind me. And when I looked, there was nothing there. And so I think I'm going to go over and investigate over here and kind of see what I got going. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It makes you really excited to, you know, be here. Not only at the cemetery, but in Colorado Springs. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It kicks the hell out of living in Denver, where we used to live. Got a beautiful girlfriend. She's awesome. She digs coming and checking out this stuff with me too. I'm a lucky guy. Now this is a part I have investigated and researched a lot of the cemetery. I mean, you look at the sheer volume. I mean, I would say it probably goes about 1.5 miles each way, at least, if not 2. I'm trying to have a conservative estimate there. But I've recently thought that deer are my spirit animal, because whenever I come here, not whenever, but a lot of the times, I'll come here and I will run into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 family herd of deer And they aren't frightened of me. They'll let me get within 5 to 10 feet of them, and they'll just hang out, go to the bathroom, walk around me as if I'm a family member. And yesterday was the same thing, and today this whole thing happened over here where I noticed something rolling. I've never been over into this crypt or seen it. Trying to get a good view of it. Just look at how dirty those windows are inside. But no one's been in there, so what can you do? Looking pretty.